Hello and welcome everyone to the ultimate Doorman guide. This guide is going to cover everything that has to do with Doorman, featuring prominent people like Joechuck, SteezyCat, and Odzu, and Daglas P. Each of the segments is going to cover something. For example, Joechuck is going to talk about Rage Bait, SteezyCat is going to talk about his self-carting and Majestic Leap, also is going to talk about his melee build, and Daglas with our vent tech. With all of these, hopefully it can paint an idea on how flexible and creative Doorman can be, and maybe inspire some new playstyles that will come out from hopefully this video. These are the sections we're going to talk about today: pros and cons, abilities, combos, itemization, and remember to always feel free to use the stamps below to jump into any section you want, or to skip sections, or to come back to sections whenever you want. But I highly suggest, even if you know Doorman already, to watch the full video, because I promise you there will be things that you didn't know. So the pros of Doorman is that he's very flexible and can fit into any draft. He has a very strong early mid game and extremely good utility. The cons is that he has really weak scaling to the late game. By then the enemy team will be filled with counter items if he's being oppressive in any way. Obviously we know that there's a lot of spirit resist items and spirit power counter items. For Doorman alone, there's a lot of counter items that counter him and are good items in general in any draft. Another con is that he needs setup to be able to get the most value of certain situations. And lastly, he is a very buggy character. This character has the most bugs of any other character in the game right now, so be prepared. If you're gonna pick the character up, you're gonna have to put up with some bugs that will happen from time to time. And now we jump into the abilities. Okay, so we're gonna start with the abilities, starting with the bell. So the bell has two types of damage: impact damage and explosion damage. Explosion damage is this. That is explosion damage when the bell is destroyed or it explodes by itself. And impact damage is when the bell passes through said enemy. And of course the explosion does more damage than impact, but ideally you want both of them to land. How you want it is to throw the bell at them and obviously shoot at the right time. And do not worry about like shooting the bell behind enemies, because your shots go through enemies, as you can see. So on top of the impact damage and the explosion damage is 40% less weapon accuracy and 35% less movement speed from that enemy for 4 seconds. And that debuff it's not gonna suddenly get back. Like after 4 seconds, it's not gonna suddenly, the debuff is gone. Like it goes slowly back. The first point for the bell is 1 extra charge for it, so you can basically, shoot another bell, but the cooldown between charges is 6 seconds, as you can see on the top. I started pointing with my finger, I'm so stupid. And obviously the second point is plus 30 impact damage and plus 40 explosion damage. And when we upgrade it fully, the bell radius will increase by 4.5 meters, and the bell lifetime will get a 26-second lifetime increase, plus improved spirit scaling. Now in lane, what you will always do, and that's what I always have done, and I don't see any other reason or benefit to upgrading anything else. Obviously you upgrade your bell first, and you want to save, don't upgrade anything else yet. Like don't put a point on any of these abilities yet until you have another point to your bell, because in lane a plus 30 impact and a plus 40 explosion damage is way more beneficial than anything else, because Doorman's bells in the early game do a lot of damage. And I was just gonna go over like basic tips for the bell. Like before a recent patch, you couldn't immediately shoot your bell after you threw it. Like you had to wait a little bit and then you're able to shoot. But now, I don't know if this is a bug or if it's a new feature. They haven't mentioned it in the patch notes, so this might change. But now you can instantly shoot your bell after launching it. So you can basically now do something like this. Like you don't need to throw it down below someone and then wait and shoot. So when you're pushing towers, like imagine this is the enemy walker, sorry. How you shoot it with the bell, like how you damage, you want the bell to go through it and then you shoot, okay? But you not want it too high, because the minions will spawn here, okay? The minions will fall right here and they'll start walking to this side. So ideally, you want to hit its leg so you get the impact damage, explosion damage, and you also hit the wave, and plus some cockroaches right there. As you saw, we killed 3 cockroaches and we got 3 souls, so hell yeah. Now let's talk about another mechanic that you can use when you upgrade the bell to max stacks. And basically the cooldown for it becomes 29 seconds bell lifetime, which means this, we put it here, this will not self-explode until 29 seconds. There are a bunch of things that you can do with this and you can be creative with it, but here's a few that I usually use. When doing mid-boss, if the enemy team, there's a high chance of them coming to, contest the mid-boss, I highly recommend, and this is what you should be doing, that you stack your bell and don't shoot it, and don't heavy melee, because meleeing destroys your bell. So you want to keep stacking this on the mid-boss, even after you kill it, okay? And as the rejuve comes down, and people come to contest, you have a bunch of bells stacked, like at least 2 or 3, okay, depending on if you have rapid recharge or not, and you'll have 3 bells ready to explode. Covers almost the whole zone here, and it will give you really good value if people come to contest it. Another place you can stack your bells at is under the picture. Like, let's say we're fighting the Hidden King, okay? Do not explode it on the first phase, okay? You want to wait until the second phase. So a bit before the first phase dies, you want to, start stacking your bells. You wait for the second phase to like be able to, stop being invulnerable. You can boom, explode all the damage under it, and it is, depending on your build, it's not gonna do much, but every little helps. And when fighting the, basically the final fights, every little bit helps. Like, you can either keep it for the patron itself, or you keep it for destroying other people's healths. Huh. Who would have thought that this vent would be used as a Doorman tech? Not me. This guy did, though.
Hello, my name is Daglas P. You may have seen the Doorman Big Vent combo I made last year, and the recent Doorman Inferno montage. And I'm here to talk about the Vent Stun combo for Doorman. So, the Vent Stun apply when someone take the vent, then take damage. They will get stunned while they fall to the ground near the vent. But then I was thinking, maybe we can use the cart to place them on the vent? Wouldn't work unless there is a wall near it, right? But with ult you can stop them on it, which is perfect for most vent on the map. Once they come back from the Baroness, you can throw a bell and shoot it for them to get stunned right away. To make it even easier, you can use Vortex Web, and then cart them through your door.
Let me show you upstairs.
And if they're slightly behind the vent in the Baroness, you can heavy melee them once they come back to push them onto it, and then stun them. Another important rule for vent stun is that it can only occur if the person using it wasn't stunned prior. So, if you stun them with the cart and then they land on it, shoot them while they take the vent, they won't get stunned again with the vent. The solution for this is Vortex Web, to pull them after the cart stun. You can either start your combo with cart, ult, or even knockdown, then push them through the door with your cart, next to the vent, then use Vortex Web to pull them onto it, after the stun of course. And here's some clip from an actual match, back when the vent stun made you go really far.
Wraiths over there?
Oh, Wraiths coming in. To the left.
They're all in the tower here.
I'm using a mad combo. Oh my god! Oh, it's beautiful! Get in there. That's a fucking clip. Dude!
Thanks.
Shall we? Checking in.
What, you think you hate me now? Just wait until I kill you again.
One of the bread and butter Doorman combo to send people back to objective to deal damage with a kidnap through door. But if you don't have a door set up or you want to go further back, you can set up a door where they are ulted, and then use the zipline to quickly go back to kidnap them onto a better objective like Walker to secure a kill. This of course only works if the enemy is short on stamina or heavily slowed in the Baroness.
Pops, I just counterspell? No, wait, counterspell.
Wait! But we can take this to the next level and do double kidnap setup with the zipline boost and items such as Refresher or Echo Shot on Door.
Okay, so let's move on to the doorway. Self-explanatory. Place a door. Place another door. You go through it. It's a portal. And recently, they made a change that a lot of people hate. A lot of people say it's fair. A lot of people think it kills Doorman. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it does. You know, it did get me killed a few times, but not as much as, you know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Which is,
This way, please.
you cannot insta-close your doors. You have to wait 8 seconds until you're able to close the door. Which means if you are running away from someone, you know, like you put a door, you know, you're running away from someone and you open the door and you jump in, you're not going to be able to close it behind you. They can still chase you through the door. But there's a lot of ways to play around this, and I'll get to that in a bit. So the first upgrade is
Such wonder.
15 seconds of duration, which is, you know, it's very good. You always like it's not too bad, but the best thing we want and we look for is the barrier on the second upgrade. This is roughly 255 barrier that scales with your spirit. So the more spirit you have, the higher it is. So you click tab, if you want to see, by the way, you click tab and it shows you, like, I keep pointing with my finger on the screen, I'm so stupid. Like, it shows you how much it increases on each ability, the modifiers basically. And the third upgrade is a 30-meter cast range. And yeah, the cast range is basically like how far you can place your door from. This is not related to your door range, it's just how far you can cast it from. So like from here, I can't do it. And when I upgrade,
I will go where I desire.
now I can. And look how far I can. And that's why I love upgrading doorway first. Like, most of the time I upgrade my doorway first because I just see no downside to doing things like this. And also, doorway distance will start scaling with your spirit power. But the scaling is... It's 0.15, so, and you'll be able to tell by obviously going to the curiosity shop and just clicking tab on, let's say, extra spirit. You see my doorway distance increases by 1 meter. Improved spirit pushes it up to 2 meters increase, and boundless spirit a 5-meter increase. So the spirit scaling, increasing it is good, but not that good. So let's talk about types of doors. So there's many types of doors and we'll go through all of them and what they do and how you can use them. The first type is walker nap doors. A nap is basically a kidnap. I just make it, you know, quicker and you know, just to make it easier to say and, you know, quicker, which is doors that you can put on, doors that, you know, you put to kidnap people into your walker. That's blue, green, or yellow. Did I just point at green and say yellow? Okay. Anyways, and a base nap door, which is, you know, kidnapping people to base and, you know, where to put the other door in to get them there. And disposal doors or trash doors are doors that I want to push people through just to throw them away. You know, like people I don't want in certain areas and just want to push them away. I'll use these spots to get rid of them. For example, if I want to get rid of someone or a group of people that are in, like, for example, we're contesting mid-boss and I just want to get rid of people very quick and you don't have, you know, access to your walker or your walker is too low HP, so you don't want to throw your enemies there and they, you know, take it down for free. And, you know, I'll go into detail about all of them, but first I want to mention all the types of doors first. And escape doors, and these are doors that you want to use to escape very quick. And lastly, flank doors, and these are doors that you want to use to flank people from. So first of all, we're going to talk about vanilla door, okay? Vanilla door, like there's no mystic expansion. We didn't upgrade it to, 5, and we're just talking about in lane, okay? First door is right here. That's what I usually do. You place the door right here, and what does this give you access to? Basically the whole lane, like the whole lane, literally up to here, okay? But usually I'll use this right before minute 2, okay? I upgrade my door second, not card second, okay? You want your door second. So you can be able to do this at 2 minutes. Oh, and by the way, like you always want to fight for blue lane. You want blue lane. Ask anybody on your team if they're a duo, like they are in the blue lane, and you pause the game, like ask them, why don't you guys go yellow lane, and we both swap with you to blue lane. Like I just need blue lane because Doorman has the most impact when he's in blue lane, because you're in the middle, you can gank yellow, you can gank green, and Doorman ganks are very strong, and you just have so many opportunities to like push people through many doors that are mostly stable and not as buggy as other styles are. The worst lane for Doorman is yellow. Yellow is by far the worst lane for Doorman, and we will talk about that in a bit. They're pushing in. If the enemy is right here, you can obviously push them through here, but as soon as you jump through an enemy, like run at them, they will usually like run that way, like run to this side or run to that side. So it's not usual that you'll get this easy kidnap here. Like sometimes you do, but another one is pushing someone to this door, because that's most of the time what's gonna be is I use either of these walls. Like those two walls are the most I get value from to push people through here. You also get access to here. Like if someone is here, you can push them through this door or that door. There's also this one right here. Like let's say someone is chasing you through here, you run through here, and then you boom, and then you open a door there. There's also this wall here. This one's very good. This one is very good, and that one is excellent, also very good. Another one is like let's say someone's chasing from here, and you don't want to do this. By the way, you do not want to do, because that is just so obvious, man. Like that's way too obvious. Do not be obvious. Don't be predictable. Run like that. Do this, and then you push them in. Most of the time, people will take these first, and they'll be shooting from this area. If you have your ult, run in and ult them quick before like they dash away, because you want to give them this angle so you can door them straight into your guardian. And if they're also taking this camp, it also reaches this wall here. Right, but what about kidnapping people from lane to your walker? So for the walker, right now, since we can't insta close our doors, you no longer want your doors to be on the ground right here. Like now this is bad, so because people will get stomped or whatever, and they'll just run back in, dash back in, very easy. So you want it high, but not too high. If you have it too high, what the walker will do is they'll stutter a bit, and like they do the laser thing. So let me show you. Let me just do an example.
I believe my assistance is needed.
So like see, it stuttered for a bit to do the laser, and then it did the stomp. Sometimes it will keep doing the laser and glitch a bit. So you do not want the door way too high. So you want it like in between these like two windows. So we open it. It still stutters, but not as long. So from that door to here, this is always a spot. You've watched Joechuck before. This is usually the spot it comes from. And what you want to do is like how to get them in and bait them. But this way to bait people in is to, oh, I misparried. Oh, I'm bad. Like maybe like you dash parry and you pretend like you misplayed, and people they cannot resist the urge to heavy melee you to shit when you miss parry. So, well, oh shit, I fucked up. And you know, you're ready to door them into Walker from here. Or you choose this side, or even right here, this. So when we get Mystic Expansion, it goes from 70 to 80 for distance. And that gives us access to this wall right here, which is perfect. Because this wall is very easy to get people into. Because you can jump people, ult them here, or whatever. And it just gives you access to this, or this one. And it also barely extends to this wall right here. Like, you need to be closer to this side rather than that side. Now, another door other than like kidnapping is doing it from here. You put that door there,
It's an honor to be of service.
and obviously like reaches here.
Allow me to be your
And you basically can do this.
Baroness.
You know, if the door is like almost, like you can time it without, you know, taking much damage. And that's like you only want to do that if it's like very low and it's almost dead, you know. In green, if you are unfortunate and you cannot get blue, well, you can get green. Do not place your door right here like this. That's like they might sometimes they slide up above it, sometimes they hit it like this if they hit this side. So you want it slightly high and you want to aim like, you know, in this area right here. And it will give you this. Green is not too bad. Sometimes these rocks will stop a cart from going.
This way, please.
Good example. Whoa. These are a bit weird because, like, as you can see, like, there's sharp corners, and with the sharp corners, it makes the door jump to one side. These are bad. Do not do these. Very inconsistent.
I believe my
Door will
assistance is
sometimes slide on it. Sometimes it will not slide on it. It's very awful. It's very awful. A door I do like is this one. This one I find very consistent, and you can, you know, people are here a lot, and you can catch them off guard. There's also these doors right here. These, like, you cannot do it inside, but you can do these. You can do these, and you can do these from here, and from here. And this is something that blue lane cannot have. Like, if you're that side of the map, if you're hitting king side on green, you can have control and full control of this side of the map, because if someone comes here, you can either push them to this wall, from that side, this side, like there's just many options you have here. And the best part is when they're pushed in, you can harass them. You can basically harass them from here, and they cannot do anything about it. And if they do try and come to you, they just get doored in. Oh, another thing with tight spaces, you want to pre-open your door. Like in tight spaces, like the enemy might cover up the wall, and you cannot open a door when someone is covering up the wall. So you want to pre-open your door for that, right before they come in. Well, let's change sides very quick. Let's say you're on this side of the map. You need to sort of like put it up here a bit high. Oops. Put it up here like a bit high, and you know, over there, like that works too. And that's usually where you want to have it, because it reaches this, like it barely reaches this side, and this side is what we want, of course. Now these walls, a bit inconsistent. Like even with Mystic Expansion, like you only get access to like more stuff that's not usable. So you want to move out of this lane as soon as you can. Like after it's done, you just want to move out, you know, go elsewhere. Now, the reason why yellow lane is the worst lane and the lane that's so awful for Doorman is because this, very inconsistent. You have to point at this. These awful potato bags. Why, Yoshi, did you give us these potato bags that we have to be very specific in where we point? Like, look, what is this? What is this? So, yeah, I have no idea what they were doing. Like, they had Doorman before they made all of these, so I'm really confused as to why Yoshi, or the devs in general, didn't think of, how will this affect the portal guy? You know, our buggiest character. Do we want to make more bugs in the game? The most consistent ones are this wall, this, and this. This also sometimes. So fight for to be in other lanes. You know, tell your team if they want to win, they need to give you another lane other than yellow. Right. Let's talk about walker doors. So as we said before, these right here. But let's say we have upgraded our doorway and we have Mystic Expansion. To be perfectly in the middle of like where the walker circle is, the door will have to be here. But we don't want that. We want it here. Okay, we want it around here. Why? When you kidnap people in blue lane, it's usually from this side. Like this wall sometimes I do use, but it's usually this car, this back of this truck right here. This is where majority of my kidnaps come from, because people usually don't expect it and they don't notice it, and you know, I even sometimes get it while you know, you'll see it in a clip right now. Woo! Execution. It's slightly more diagonal, so they get pushed in, and you know, they're basically more or less around here in the middle, because you do not want them like near this zone, because they have access to this side and this side where they can, you know, escape more easily. But this side, it's not as easy to escape, you know, because your friends can come from this zip line and, you know, jump from that side, or you can catch this zip line and then, you know, catch them here as well. People, when they see you and they know you have Vortex Web, they will know you're coming. So when you're here, they'll already be back. So what I recommend is you come from the side, come from here, and then you'll have access to either this door or that wall, sorry, or this or that. And obviously these are under the assumption that you don't upgrade your cart to the second tier, which is, you know, 20 meters extra cast range. If you upgrade your cart, you're less likely to get them right under your walker, because it will over push, and if you place it there, they might land here and they might land on this side and be able to avoid it in time. I just would rather lose out on the extra range and damage from wall impact for the walker stomp damage, which is way higher, to be honest. Another one that's cheeky, that you can have it here inside the veil. So when someone doesn't know, like they usually would not know that you're here. Like you'll be standing this side, like they'll see a shine through, but maybe they let out the guard. You can do this, and you can kidnap them in. So other than lane, what else can you get people at? Obviously, double sinners right here. This one is very perfect. There's always people doing the sinners. Boom, caught them into. Like the same thing works for this side of the sinners as well. You don't have to always use doors for kidnap. You can use doors just to be in other lanes while also, you know, keeping it safe. So you can gank people and still have, you know, have time to jump back in and defend the blue lane. Now, what if you do upgrade your cart? Okay, these doors I think are the best because they go straight from here to that wall, which you get the impact damage, and if it's fully upgraded, you get the stun damage. The problem is, if it's slightly angled, they will either go here or here, and you know, boom, escaped. You can also have it here, which, you know, they'll either hit this wall or wall right here, and they'll get stunned, but they still have access to the door. There is also this one right here, which pushes them against this wall. They get stunned and they get stomped, but also it's a strict carting angle. Like when you see like it clips right here, slightly angled, so they get pushed in either right here or at an angle through here, this is the most perfect spot, by the way. If you angle them like slightly that way from the door, like let's say someone is here, you want to cut them slightly there, so they hit this wall right here. Or you can have it like here, where it's a bit high. They get pushed in here. And when it's fully upgraded, you can have it right there. Have it like, you know, sort of between these windows. So they get pushed in and, you know, they hit that wall, or they hit here, or they hit that. And, you know, they get the damage. There's also a chance, if you angle it right, for them to hit this truck right here. Like that. They hit the truck and they get stunned and they get the stomp. Now let's say your walker is taken down, okay? You want to push people into these bad boys right here. You want to have your door here, and you want to max your cards, obviously, to get people far enough that they're in here. Like, they get the damage from this as they go through, and then they're stuck in your base, basically. Like, it's like they're locked in. If they decide to go through here, they'll get swung by these base guardians a lot, and this is when I sort of recommend that you consider buying greater expansion, because it doesn't upgrade your doors that much. Like, it doesn't upgrade the range. It's only like a 10-meter upgrade, which is a lot, but you can get the same thing, sort of the same thing from Divine Barrier, but it's not that expensive, so maybe consider getting it, just so you have more coverage. The other lanes, the same thing. You put one here, and the same thing for this, but this one is a bit more forgiving. Like, this one is the same thing. Like, it leads to the middle better than that one. And lastly, the base doors, which, depending on what's happening on the map, if a lot of action happening green side, you want to have this, yellow side this, blue side this, and always have it high, so people have to, you know, they don't instantly dash, they have to do this, which is slightly slower. And yeah, obviously there is differences in the patrons. You know, Archmother is way easier. You have access to so many walls. When Hidden King, you barely have anything for. You have nothing to use in Hidden King side, which is sad. But yeah, like, at this stage of the game, you'll, you know, have some, you know, maybe extra spirit, or, you know, let's say Divine Barrier, okay? That puts us at like 177 meters, which is the usual range you'll be at most games. And if people are right here, you have this whole wall right here to get people in. You know, either push them through here and, you know, cart them in here, or that wall, or this, or this. You know, there's a bunch of options. Or if they were here, you have that wall, this wall. Like, usually you want to come from this side, you know, if there's people there, just so you have the power of the veil and this beautiful truck right here, because it gives us this side and it gives us this beautiful backside of the truck. So you can just wait right here, you know, you wait for people to pass by, maybe not the first person. You want to, like, at least 2 people, you know, to get the most value, and do this, boom, you have doored multiple people into your base. Another one is you hide in here and you can push them through this side, or if they're a bit hesitant, go from here, boom, push them here, or push them here, but it's very tight. Now, let's talk about other types of doors. But before we get to that, let me introduce the man, the legend, the doorman himself, Joechuck.
Joe? Hi, this is Joechuck. A secret technique you should use as Doorman is the mid-game command. Simply hit escape, then click on the target's name to commend them. Bonus points if you commend someone while they're in the Baroness. Doing this will let the enemy know that you appreciate their patronage to the Baroness and to come back anytime.
Oh, he tried to dispel. Dispel, I don't want
Well, first, let's talk about disposal doors. Now, we're gonna say that our walker is weak or does not exist, and we just want to quickly place a door right as we're going to mid-boss, because a lot of the time you're not gonna have time to set up efficient doors or whatever, because you'll, like, as the game goes on, you want to be quick. You want to be decisive, you know, when you're deciding what to do next. And let's say we finish a fight here or round here, and you know, you go mid boss. I like this door right here. Okay, why? Because when we're fighting for mid boss, let's say the mid boss is about to die, I open a door so I can instantly close it later, and someone comes in, you push them in, and they get pushed right as far as like you sort of can, you know. They get pushed pretty far, and you know, they have a while to go and, you know, to walk. You know, by the time they get back to the mid boss, you've already taken the rejuves, and they basically baited themselves in to a losing fight, because yeah, or your team can chase them out and, you know, get rid of them. Another one, if I'm coming from this side and, you know, I don't have time to go for the back side of that and just take it, you can just, you know, do a door like that, you know, as you're walking away. But the reason I didn't use that wall much and I use this one is because this one, I know exactly where they are and what they're most likely to want to do next. Because if they're pushed that side, they might decide to take the camps, take the sinners, or do a wave or go zipline. But when they land right here, their most likely first instinct is what's in front of me. What's in front of me is the stairway to mid boss. So that's like the most predictable outcome from that enemy. And predicting what your enemies will do is most of this game, basically. So you want the least amounts of anomalies or unpredictabilities in your games. Now let's say I'm on the Hidden King side and we are pushing for Archmother, okay? We're pushing against, like, this is enemy towers. I just do this because I don't want to the actual enemy towers to hit me, okay? You know, we're pushing this lane and I want, like, we're about to take the Archmother, but we could be outnumbered. So I usually put a door right there. You know, as we're pushing this, you have this access to this wall right here usually. Let's get Mystic Expansion, because that's not realistic enough. Yeah, you have access to most of this wall, basically. And I usually open a door right here, and if someone comes in and tries to contest us, you can just push them through, they hit this wall, they get stunned, and they fall in. But most of the time, you want to preemptively open the door, so you can just push them in and close it on them. And you've got rid of like 1 or 2 people in that fight, which is very crucial. Let's say you're pushing this side. Where do you put your door? I usually put it right there, right on that wall. Because when you're pushing in, like, you want to point at the bottom side, like right here. It's a bit finicky to get, but you'll get it. Like, after like you spam it a few times, you know, you will open it eventually. And, you know, the same thing, you push someone and they basically get doored, or they hit this wall right here, they get stunned. Also, I forgot about a disposal door, which is this one. This one you put as you're going through. Like, this one is better than the other ones. And this one, like, you're coming through, you have a door up. Your cooldown is are up. So you put a door here. As you're pushing this lane, like, you can just push them through, and they are on the opposite side of the map. But you do not want to do this when you're only pushing one lane. When you're pushing a patron with only one lane or one wave of minions, that's bad. Because if you door them to this lane, they have the opportunity and power to stop your wave from coming to you. And without a wave, you cannot end. You cannot kill a patron without any minions nearby. Now let's talk about escape doors. Okay, and these doors are doors you want to place quick because you're escaping and you didn't have, which is bad. You always want a door ready for when you're in danger and you want to run away. But let's say you got caught off guard, it was on cooldown, and it just came back off cooldown and you're running away. What do you do? So let's say I'm being chased, put a door there, put a door here, and do this. So because we can't close the door, behind us very quick, we want to place doors high ground, close to a roof. So we do this. We can climb it and we don't use any stamina whatsoever. And because we place the door, we have the control or knowledge of where it leads. We have the advantage of knowing where it's going to lead. So they might jump in and fall, or jump in and we'll be looking around. So that gives you, each second matters when chasing someone, and that gives you enough time to knowing where you're going next before they even know what's happened or where you put your door. So always look for roofs, or as you're sliding, or as you're going, like pretend you're Pocket throws his cloak and then runs the opposite direction. And sometimes you don't even need to go through you can just do this and do that, just to get a shield and also break their ankles, thinking you went through and confuse them. Because if you go through the door, there's a camera shift happening, and in that camera shift you can break their ankles and juke back, or as always, do the classic jump above the roof. Another wall I like to use is that one to escape. See, you flip this and you go through this, and then boom, you're right into a vent. Okay, now let's talk about flank doors. Now flank doors are very simple. Let's say we're pushing this lane and there's people there, poking us and doing whatever. What you do is you want to be quick. You want to do this and then quickly do that, and boom, you're behind them. Vortex, cart, you push 2 or how many people into your team, and basically they get eaten alive and you see a massacre happen right there. But do not push people who have AoE ults. Like for example, you don't want to push a Pocket, you don't want to push a Dynamo, you don't want to push Victor maybe. Just push the squishies, push the carries there. But yeah, boom, boom, and you'll be quick. You'll get used to it. There's also this one I like to do, which is right there, and you're instantly behind them here, either from this side or that side. Though doing this is kind of risky because you are next to the enemy team very quick. Yeah, you do have a shield and a door to run back into, but you could still be CC'd heavily. Even if you push 2 people, the rest of the team might punish you heavily for that. And at that stage of the game, if you're doing that a lot, or you're seeing a lot of opportunities to do that, I recommend getting cheat death, because you'll be doing 2 things at once. You'll be pushing 1 or 2 people of the carries into your team, killing them, and you'll also be, with cheat death, sucking up ults and CC from the other enemies, which is both fantastic value, and you can call it out. They don't have ults. Everyone go in, come through door or whatever. You want to be active in voice comms, by the way. Being active in voice comms is very important. The same thing works for other lanes. You can put a door there, put one here, and push them through. You just love trucks, man. Right here, and you're just behind them instantly, and you can push them in. Trucks in this game are your friend. As Doorman, trucks are your friend. Moving on, finally, to our cart. We talked a lot about doorway, and there's just so much to cover about this one thing, one ability, which is humongous. But luggage cart, first upgrade, does damage, and by default it does a lot of damage. This card, it does a lot of damage. And second upgrade, if it hits a wall, plus 20 extra cast range, and if it's a wall, 75 extra damage. And if it's fully upgraded, the cooldown gets lessened by 15 seconds, and if they hit a wall, they get stunned for 1.25 seconds. Now, what are techs with cart? Obviously that you can alternate cast it. For me, it's the middle mouse scroll button. Let's say I have a teammate that's running away, like right here. open a door, caught them in, and they get a shield and they get to safety behind a door very quick. It's a bit rare, you know, that you get opportunities to do that. Like, if you point upwards and cart, it's always going to be on the ground. But if you jump, you can change
Hooligan.
where it starts. So let's say there's someone high. You can do this and it will fling upwards. Someone low, you can do it lower. This is useful when you ult someone that's, you know, in the air. Do an example here.
The Baroness awaits.
Okay, so she's in the air, okay? And let's say I have a door here that takes her there. Okay, she died. Imagine she's still there. We wanna jump and then do this, not this. Like, you can do that, you can do this. But just to be safe, you know, you wanna point it slightly more upwards, so it just lands very nicely in. You can get cheeky doors like that. There's also the self-carting tech that, you know, someone else will explain it. I'll let them explain it on their section.
Put that hoe over. That bitch got to get a ticket.
It's a plane. It's a bird. No, it's SteezyCat.
Hi, I'm SteezyCat, and I am a Doorman player. I take Joechuck's kidnap build and I add a little twist to it, a little unconventional twist to it. So what I do is I buy Majestic Leap very often. This item by itself is very, very slept on. It allows you to set up for plays that are otherwise that would catch your enemies off guard. For example, Majestic Leap straight into the enemy and going for a kidnap, or using it as a rotate tool to go across lanes. One thing that you could do with Majestic Leap that is really fun to do is I try to anticipate when an enemy is going to ultimate. So for example, a 7 ult, a Lash ult, a Bebop channeling, those ultimates that are in the sky, and once I see them about to ult, I Majestic Leap up into the sky and then I ult them. Not only is it fun to do, it's actually very effective because it essentially puts them out of the fight and has them has their ultimate completely negated. That is another thing that you can do with Majestic Leap. However, my most favorite thing to do with Majestic Leap is to send myself through the door with Majestic Leap. I use a tech called Leap Canceling or ML Canceling, where I Majestic Leap into the sky and I go down and I double jump. It gives you a lot of forward velocity, and I use this to my advantage because of how doors work. Doors actually preserve your velocity, so if you dash through a door, it will keep you dashing towards the other side. What I do is I put a door in an area where I think an enemy would be. For example, maybe towards the enemy blue walker, maybe towards green walker or somewhere else. And I push up the lane and I have my minions kind of scout, kind of see the area. And once they're in the area where I want them to be, right next to my door, and they're clearing the wave and they reveal themselves, I strike. I Majestically cancel through a door, and then I vortex cart back into my walker. This catches them completely off guard. Most people don't know about this. This is forbidden information. Do not tell anyone. Or someone who's like 200 walker. I'll move on to my little tech. So there's another tech that I have spent years researching. I'm kidding, but I call it the Steezy cart. This is the first iteration of the Steezy cart. The thing about Doorman alt cast is that although you can use it on teammates, most people don't know that you can actually use it on yourself. So if you have a door that two doors are perpendicular to each other and you alt cast the cart into the door, into the other one, you can actually cut yourself. This is incredibly impractical. It's funny, but it's incredibly impractical. Maybe you could set yourself up for a situation where there's an enemy over there and then you cart yourself into them and then you echo shard the cart and you cart them again, or you ult them or something. But that is something you can do. The second iteration, which is a little bit more harder to do, is it doesn't need the doors to be perpendicular. It just needs one door and an exit. So what I do is I alt cast cart right as I cross the door. What helps is I look down and right when my crosshair crosses the bottom part of the door, I send my cart. And this allows you to send yourself through the door. This is also pretty impractical, but it is also pretty funny. You can set up for some pretty funny plays, maybe going into catching your enemies completely off guard. Do whatever you wish with this information that I have given you. With that, I will leave off with some closing remarks before I disappear into the void. Above all, I think with Doorman, the more creative you are, the better you will perform. Doorman's kit rewards creativity. Doorman's kit rewards unexpected plays, catching your enemies off guard, and especially setting up for the game-winning plays, the kidnaps that will help you win your games.
Now let's talk about ults. Like, your ult is a point and click with a short range that sends people to the Baroness, which is if you're in the practice place or whatever, and you no clip, you open the console, you click no clip, type in no clip, and they get sent to this place right here, where they have to basically do a parkouring to get out. And this is very easy to escape, by the way. Like, I'm just gonna show it in case a Sinclair copies your ult and ults you, which not uncommon. And you know what? Wanna hug this wall jump on that edge, and then one jump, and there you go, you're out. The first upgrade, they'll drain 1 stamina when they get in, and the cooldown is less by 25 seconds. Now the stamina drain is very good, because if they go in with only 1 stamina, that makes it a bit harder if they don't know how to leave, like I showed you. And the second upgrade is 150 damage plus a 1.5 stun if they fail to check out. Final upgrade, Unstoppable. When you ult someone while they're still in the Baroness, you are unstoppable, which means that no CC can affect you. And if they do fail to check out, the cooldown will be set to 13 seconds. Let's say, for example, you ult someone like a Viscous, okay? If you ult someone like a Viscous, one of Viscous' abilities is his cube, and majority of the time, 99% of the time, when he has it, as soon as he checks out, he will cube himself. What I usually like to do is when I kidnap a Viscous, okay, into Walker, okay, a Viscous goes here, he goes under Walker, he gets hit with a stomp. Usually, before he gets hit with a stomp, he cubes himself, okay? Or, he gets, the stomp or whatever, then he cubes himself. After he uses his cube, you ult him. So the problem is, like, when you ult a Viscous while he has his cube on, he gets sent in the Baroness, still in his cube. So he has to either, like, stay in the cube, get some of that health back, and, he will fail to check out because he's staying in the cube, or try to cancel the cube and, maybe make it out if he has enough stamina, or, he does it very well. So it puts him in a lose-lose sort of situation. So you want to keep that in mind when facing a Viscous. Same thing goes for Ivy. Ivy is a bit different because she can either, as soon as she gets out, she stones forms, so you cannot cart her instantly after, she's out of the ult. Or she uses it right before, like, the timer runs out, so she's basically avoids the damage. But she'll still be, carted by you when she's out. So usually I don't ult Ivy unless I've seen her use her stone form recently. Then I ult her. And then Yamato, obviously with her ult, she can do the same thing Ivy does, either after she gets out or right before she gets out. Same thing with Calico as well. So keep in mind when facing these people on what abilities they have. Same thing can be applied to, like, Mirage with his Tornado, Apollo with his Riposte, Pocket's suitcase thing. Or in Furnace if he times his ult just right. Also, I almost forgot where their bats thing. Just keep in mind what abilities they have and what they could use when they get out, and maybe you don't have a stun or something, or you think they'll get out. But something that people don't usually expect is when the enemy team has a Viscous nearby. So let's say I ulted Yamato, she doesn't have ult, okay, to, make her invulnerable, and Viscous is nearby, he will be spamming her to cube her. He will be spamming to cube her. So what do you do in this situation, okay? Because it doesn't happen often, I just couldn't find my clip of me doing it. So just trust me on this one, okay? Like I just showed you. So Viscous is nearby, and he's about to cube someone, and you have a door ready. Don't cart, melee it, because they'll be in the cube, and they'll be pushed straight into this tower. They'll be hit, and they'll get stomped, or they don't get stomped. They're kidnapped anyway, so they're as good as dead. So another thing you should know about the ult is, after you cart someone under your walker, okay, you have a choice if you have ult, okay? You can either, okay, as soon as they get the stomp, you ult them, okay? So they still haven't, the stomp bounces you, sort of like it pushes you away. So as the stomp happens, okay, and they're like almost pushed slightly, you want to ult them as soon as they get the stomp, before they even like get out to the inner circle, okay? So in the Baroness, they'll still be in that stun duration, and it'll make it really hard for them to check out. And if they respawn inside the circle, they get another stomp. So here's how that will look like this. Boom. You ult. And then... Okay, she died in the ult. Hopefully she's fine. Hopefully she doesn't die immediately. She gets out, and boom, another stomp. So let's talk combos. I like my Vortex Sweep on C. It just feels easier to me. Now the first combo we want to get used to is Vortex Sweeping someone, okay, in front of you, and then clicking cart, and then we insta cast our door. We can't cast her right now because she's standing on the wall. So that's what the combo looks like. So you need to get used to doing this very quickly in any direction. When you master that, even when jumping, pushing it in, and the door is very forgiving, by the way. Like, it's very forgiving. Like, I'm gonna point right there, and she's still gonna go through. See? But yeah, she did stomp because the cast range is not too long, so get down here. So how you do that is you go to hero specific keybinds, okay, and you go to Doorman because you want it specific to him. Some heroes you don't want it on instacast, so you want to change that maybe. I have my doorway on quick cast and my hotel guest ult on instant cast. The reason behind that is if I don't have, let me change it here. If I have it on ability default, it's gonna be like this, where I have to do this and go to someone and then ult, okay, and then click another button. This is too slow. This is very slow. You do not need to know the range, okay, of your ult. Just know it's small, and that's all you need to know, okay? You're not going to instantly calculate, oh, is my distance good? Like, you do not. You just need to spam it. And also, this makes it predictable, because when you do this, people can see the shine and can see that you're wanting to ult them. So please don't be obvious. This gives it away. But with instant cast, you want to ult someone, you can just spam it like this. This is way quicker, way more easier, and you will get out of really tight situations with this instant cast option. And the reason why doorway is not instant cast and it's quick cast, so quick cast is I can click the button and it doesn't cast it, but if I let go, it will cast it. Now why is that? Because doors are finicky, okay? Yoshi doesn't care much about Doorman's door collisions and that, okay? Like, I do not think they care that much because it's been so long and things have still unchanged. So for now, I think they care that much. So you want to always check that, yeah, you can place a door there. It's not being, interrupted by anything. And even doors that you already know, it's you just need it, okay? But how do I cancel? As you saw, like I just right click. I just, aim my gun and it cancels it. But you can also like cart people that are like behind you. Like it just pulls them very quick. So you don't have to worry much about if they're in the vicinity, it will, usually grab them. Sometimes Vortex Web doesn't work, sometimes it bugs out. If someone is dashing the other direction, as soon as you Vortex, they will be in the same spot. Like they will stay on the same spot because they're dashing one way and they get pulled one way, so their character stays in the same spot. Sometimes they get pulled in, sometimes they don't. A lot of bugs will happen. If you play this character, get used to having to deal with loads and loads of bugs. Now let's talk about another combo I like to do, okay? And this combo is... It needs Echo Shard, okay? And now Echo Shard, what it does is you select one ability, okay? And if you click it, if you activate the item, it will refund that ability's cooldown. Like cart, bell, cart. You can do stuff like that, but usually you don't really... It's usually overkill. But a good combo that you will have a lot of use from, okay? Let's say I have a door on Walker. Like imagine this is like going to Walker, okay? And I ult someone. Okay. When you ult someone and have a door open, their friends will know what you're about to do, okay? They will know that you're planning to wait, because most Doorman players are unfortunately do this bad habit where they ult someone and they stand still staring at them, okay? Well, there's also enemies around, okay? But you can use this to catch them off guard, and that's what usually really works with Doorman, is when you catch people off guard, okay? So, you ult someone, open a door, this one lets their guard down, Vortex, cart them, Echo Shard, I forgot the cooldown thing, you Echo Shard, okay, and then you cart again, the ulted person. And that way you get at least 2 people or more, okay? In my case, usually like 2 people are around the ulted person, and I vortex 2 people into the door, and then the 3rd person gets Echo Shard carted in with them. Now let's say we ulted someone, okay, and we have maxed our bell. We want to instantly put a bell down, and by the time they get out, we put another bell and we have 2 bells in. If you have more than extra charge, rapid recharge for example, okay, let's do the cooldown thing, and we ult someone, we can stack 1, 2, and by the time they get out, boom, and we have the 3rd one ready after that. So that's one way you can do it, if you're going for like bell damage build. There's also item like Cold Front or Anvil, okay, for you to, make sure that someone has it really hard to get out of the, Baroness. One really good one is Cold Front. You Cold Front and then you insta-ult. This basically gives them a 60% movement speed penalty. The same thing with Anvil. You Anvil someone and you ult, and ding, they get stunned in the Baroness, which, delays them quite a lot. The best thing is when you combine the two. So they're slowed, they get stunned, and yeah, it makes it really hard, especially when they don't have any stamina left. Also, don't forget that your ult also interrupts other ultimates. For example, if Infernus ults, you just ult him and then he explodes inside the Baroness. Or McGinnis, she ults, and as soon as you ult her, it gets cancelled. So sometimes you don't want to ult people that have, their ults up. You want to use it to cancel their ults like a curse. But yeah, the best thing is just, use these all abilities like in tandem with each other, So they get the slow for the dash distance, the penalty, and they get the slow from this. So it's just the combination of those 2 items make it really hard to get out. And obviously there's the cart and then ult, so they get stunned inside the Baroness. And now, just as you think that Doorman has no other ways to play him, Odzu comes in with his melee build. And hey, no melee. I can't parry for shit, okay? I'm done. Just do your f***ing thing, man.
They will return.
Hey, I'm Odzu. You probably don't really know who I am, because I don't really post clips and stuff outside of the Doorman channel, the official Discord server, but people that are familiar with me know me as a Doorman player that plays almost exclusively mid. I've been sharing my build and trying to preach about my playstyle for quite a while now, and I've used melee all the way up to where I am now, which is Eternus 3. I haven't really been playing as much as of recent because of certain changes to the game, but when I did play more frequently, I placed around 50-ish on the Doorman leaderboard. It fluctuated up and down that area for a bit before I got taken off it for inactivity. Despite not really playing as much recently, I still do believe my Doorman build is completely capable of winning games and is a really unique and fun way to play Doorman. So, my build is pretty normal in lane, at least up until Silence Wave. So I'm not really going to explain the thought process through these because you should already know. So this is like the main item that I centered my build around. Lets you kind of roam around the map really quickly and be super sneaky and just like watch enemy camps, like see people are farming somewhere, you just jump on them, one-shot them. Try and communicate with your team if you're like coming to gank somebody, so you can confirm the kills that you get off of it. Some people can like outlive you, but it's not that likely, but it's just good to be careful. Melee charge just gives you burst of melee damage. You don't really want to upgrade into Crushing Fists later though, because the stats that it gives you just aren't that valuable on Doorman. The only like really thing of value that it gives is like the 10% more melee damage roughly, but you can get that through other items like Point Blank and stuff. So you go Spirit Snatch. Now this used to be Surge of Power, right? But I realized that the amount of Spirit power you steal is basically the same, but you add more damage to your melee and you get Spirit Resist. Gives you more HP. I just feel like it's really good. It's a really good item. And Tank Busters like gives you more damage. It bypasses resists. After you do your combo, they're already pretty low, and you can usually just like gun them down afterwards, and you don't really need the other bell. Even if like you ult them, do that like multiple bell combo and like try and one shot them as they come out, you can still like go on without it. Like the melee gives you enough damage to one shot somebody. Now Vortex Love I don't really go as much either because for the most part melee Doorman can function without it. Now focus since I go this in case they buy Dispel Magic for Cart and your first Silence Wave, right? Makes them like basically a vegetable if they're a Spirit Hero. Everything else is kind of optional. You just like buy it based on how the game is. So whenever you get Silence Wave, this is like the first combo that you really need to know. It's pretty simple. You just Cart, Silence Wave, and Bell at the same time, right? It's not that hard. I'm gonna be doing it on this Infernus. He has like these items. He's the same level as me. It'll do like about half his HP in lane, and then he'll be silenced afterwards. Usually your lane partner will be able to follow up with whatever you do, and usually results in a free kill. And if not, you can just also ult them too, and they'll be silenced in the Baroness for a little bit. So the second combo you really need to know is the melee combo, and you'll be able to start doing it when you get Shadow Weave, because the Shadow Weave buy lines up with your Cart tier 3. I'm going to be doing it on this Infernus. He has the same worth as me, same soul count, also same boons and stuff. So what you want to do is like, you pop Shadow Weave, right? You run up on some unsuspecting player, like farming or something, then you want to cart them, melee into Sound Circle. So if I were to do it on an Infernus here, it'd look like this. And it gets him pretty low. Afterwards, you'll probably just be able to shoot him down. And then use the remaining bell that you have to kill him. Right. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the combos. So one final thing I'll say about my build is you usually want to play inside of enemy jungle and try and cart people and do your combo on people that are doing Sinners or other camps. If you're able to get them while they're distracted, then it'll make it a lot easier on you, and they're probably going to be low from the camps as well. So good luck and have fun playing my build. Thank you.
Okay, now for the moment, I think a lot of people want to hear and want to know is itemization. What should you build? What's the perfect build? What's the best playstyle? How do you pick items on this character? This character is one of, if not the most flexible character in terms of what to build. Now you have many routes to go through, okay? So in lane, you have two options, okay? To go either like a Mystic Burst start, okay? Which you go, some Spirit Spike, you go for early Spirit Spike, or you go for an early Gun Spike with these items, okay? How I think in any scenario, in any game, okay? Most of the time, you want to go opening rounds first item, okay? As of now, the meta, opening rounds is still the best starting item for Doorman, okay? And what you want to basically do is you right click it, you go to the shop, and it will, get you high velocity first, because that's, the item that comes before it, and it will give you opening rounds. So with my build, if you want to buy something, right click it, so you also get automatically like the items before it. Same thing with Trophy Collector, because it gives you a sprint boost first as an 800 item. And to get the gun spike, I would go either next the slowing bullets for 15% extra weapon damage and the slow. The mystic shot is not as good anymore. I get this first. This is just, I think, better in most situations. Because sometimes you will miss Mystic Shot, you'll miss that Spirit damage sometimes. But when you get all these three, you get the Gun Spike. Or you can ignore that, okay, you could ignore these, okay, and go straight for, some Mystic Burst first, because I think Mystic Burst is way better than going Extra Spirit or Extra Charge. This just will do more damage early game. And maybe Extra Charge just for more poke in lane, and, you can go extra improved spirits. If I'm against a lot of gun characters or gun carries, I don't usually go for gun. I usually go for bell damage, okay? Like say you got fed early, the person or the two people in lane against you are ass, okay? They're bad at the game. I usually rush, these spirit items here. I rush them and I try to get them early because your bell does a lot of damage if you get fed early and you start stomping people early game before late game, and your bell damage falls off. I only get cold front when I have at least 2 points in my ult, okay? And that's like a bit in the mid game sort of thing. You can get it early, okay? I just don't recommend. I recommend you keep your money for either a tank buster, rapid recharge, or for vortex. But you can skip spirit entirely, like you could just get extra spirit. Rapid recharge will get you the gun spike. Tank buster also gets you there. Surge of power, I usually keep that to last, like that's my last option for bell damage. And most of the time, I don't even get it. Why? Because by that stage of the game, that late, after you've spent so much money on these items and maybe some green items and some maybe counter items, you are at the stage of starting to fall off. Your bell damage will start to not be as impactful anymore, and you will have to switch to supporty items like Cursed Relic, Divine Barrier, Silence, and Scourge, and whatever, all these like supporty items. Okay, going and committing full gun Doorman is risky. Okay, this is a risky direction that you want to take. Like, and I'm not even doing the full gunman thing because unfortunately it's just not good. Going full gunman is so niche that you're better off doing like everything else will work better. Okay, if you won a game and you're playing as gunman, I think you would have won anyways if you weren't anything else. Monster rounds, I rarely get it. I know sometimes Joechuck even gets it, but I just see it as a waste. I think this item is a bit of a waste of money, in my opinion, because you're not going to farm a lot of jungle as Doorman. You're not going to fight a lot of jungle things. In lane, you can, destroy minion waves with a bell and a heavy melee. So I just don't see this as worth. But if you think you can get it, or you like it, or it gives you value, then by all means, go ahead. Now, you have to, or kind of must in this meta, get one of these. Trophy Collector or Golden Goose Egg. I haven't gotten Golden Goose Egg for a while. I've just been getting Trophy Collector, and I'm forgetting the value that it can give. If you're not winning early game, and the whole team is losing, like everyone is losing their lane, I don't think getting it is worth. You should not get it. But sometimes you wouldn't know at that stage. I usually get a third or fourth item, you know, or second item sometimes if I get fed quickly. And I think the lane is going to be easy. Now all the rest is self-explanatory, okay? But I do have it annotated if you want to get the build from down below. Now after your lane, you want to farm from this item. Even if you're going gun damage, I still think Vortex is worth. In any build, I just think Vortex Web is irreplaceable. The ability to be able to Vortex multiple people in one spot and be able to use one of your abilities to push all those people in a certain direction you want, that's too powerful. It's a core item, I think, in any build. Now, there are games where you have a lot of heroes on your team that are gun carries or need a lot of money, okay? And in those games, I lean heavily on support. I lean on making sure I get them kills. If I get kidnaps, I make sure they get the kill, so they get the money. You know, you heavily support them. You heavily make sure that they get fed, because at the end of the game, in the late game, a game lasts like around 40 minutes, 45 minutes, okay? That's like sort of average for this game. You're not going to be the person who's strong. You're not going to be the one having the damage, because damage, it will fall off from you. I think that's how it should be. A character that's strong early game, mid game, and late game, I think that's bad design. I don't mind that Doorman is strong early game and mid game, and then weak and falls off late game. I think that's a perfectly okay thing. That's perfectly okay. He's strong, he can still do stuff, you know, utility wise, just not damage wise. Or like compared to other characters, you know, his damage falls off compared to them. He can still do damage, but not as much as other characters. Hex, I think, is a slept on item. I don't know why I don't see it a lot. I have no idea why people don't buy it a lot. In the late game, as Doorman especially, your damage is gonna fall off anyway, so might as well, like, you know, put up with the damage penalty that you'll get. Like, disarming a Lash ult that's, you know, being triggered, you know, disarming that, or a REM sleep, or Haze ulting, 7, anything. Like, this item is too perfect. Like, this wins me so many games. Greater expansion, I don't think this item is worth getting, okay? When you get Vortex, like, for you to start doing stuff in the game, okay? For Kidnap, those 2 items is all you need. Door here. You have your door maxed. Like, your door reaches the enemy mid-walker, which you can harass the walker, or go here to people that are like defending it, kidnap them from here or here. Like, that's all you need. And if you go to the item and, you know, press tab, it shows you exactly how much it increases by. It increases by 10%. Now for 2,400 souls, you're only getting a 10% increase on your doorway, door distance, and a 10% spirit resist. That is not enough. Yes, it gives other items also increased range, but doesn't matter. Like, you're better off getting Guardian Ward, which, if you click tab, gives you sort of around the same amount. It's only a 3-meter difference, and it gives you out of combat region, and you also give a barrier to people. So, and it's cheaper. So, which one has more value in your opinion? I think that's it. Cheat Death, don't get this too early in the game, unless the enemy team has a lot of CC and you're really, really struggling, even though you shouldn't like rely too heavily on it, because you need to be able to not get caught. If you keep getting caught a lot over and over again, you're doing something very wrong, and we should look into how to fix that rather than relying on a tier 4 item that's very expensive. But when do you get greater expansion? In my opinion, I only get it when my mid-walker is taken down early. If my mid-walker gets taken down early game, okay, I'm just, you know, I have to place my door here if I want to kidnap people, because, you know, this is the closest option, and it covers most of the map. So the combination of those two gives you like around 167 sort of meters, and like that in combination with Guardian Ward, that gives us 173 meters. If you have like 2 or more active items that are like have a high cooldown, like for example, if I have Curse, okay, and I'm in the late game, you want to get Transcendent cooldown as soon as possible. The cooldown went from 55 seconds to 41 seconds, and on Vortex, 42 seconds to 32 seconds. Because sometimes teamfights in this game take a long time, because people run away and fly and do all these stuff that, you know, take a long time. And I like that about the game. This is not a criticism. I like that fights last a long time. It's not like League where someone gets deleted in 0.5 seconds and that's the fight done. Shadow Weave around the mid game, because around the mid game, okay, people are going to start to expect you, okay? And when people start expecting you, it makes it harder to kidnap them. You want to run this, you'll be able to sneak by Guardians and everything, okay, even if they have them, and you know, catch people off guard when they don't expect it. Something people also don't do is when the enemy team has a Haze and a set or a 7 or those kinds of characters that like to farm a lot in jungle, you can pop Shadow Weave and just, you know, hunt for them. Like, you can see on the map, like, you'll stay on the map and you'll see stuff, you know, disappear and pop out, like the jungle camps, and you know they're there. You know they're around there farming the jungle. So you can just go there and be able to kidnap them when they don't expect it, and they'll always be carrying a big, fat bag. So the gist of it is, Doorman doesn't have, like, he has multiple playstyles, but you don't pick one from before the game even starts and then, yeah, that's the playstyle I will do and that's what's gonna work. No. Every game is going to be different. Sometimes you need to lean so heavily on bell damage, sometimes a mix of bell damage and kidnap, sometimes only kidnap, sometimes only support, sometimes a mix of those two. It all depends on the scenario and situation, and it takes a good Doorman player to be able to decide and differentiate on which one works best for each scenario. That comes with experience. As you play more the character, you'll know instinctively, oh, I should go this, I should go this, or I should go this. And so, the Ultimate Doorman Guide comes to an end. A big, huge appreciation and thank you to all the creators involved that have answered my annoying DMs and replied to me. They took time from their own day to collaborate with me, and I highly, highly appreciate it. I'm eternally grateful. Make sure to follow all of them, links in the description, and please do look forward to my next videos because I've got many ideas that I have in my bag. There's just so much I want to do for this game and this community, so please do follow me. And as always, have yourselves a damn good one. Bye bye.